Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I don't remember if I've done a reading for you before. I do a lot of readings. I like to explain real quick. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. Hated charades when I was a kid. And I try to describe the picture the best I can. They never waste a message. There's always a reason for whatever they show or say. If it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind. You'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, I know what he's talking about. So this is not an exact science. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. We communicate the best way we can. So, I don't know if I said there's always a reason. Yeah, there's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So I let them run the show within reason. He was already babbling before I even pushed the button to the camera. He was like, "This is cool. This is so cool. I can talk again. I can talk." And he's standing here. Like I've yet to see somebody say, "I can see the energy there." But I know when we do paranormal investigating, we use cameras a lot because you catch orbs and things like that. Sometimes you can catch their energy. I don't know. Maybe this camera isn't good enough. But anyway, he's like bubbly, 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 excited, and he's like his energy is like large, like he says larger than life. He's larger than life. Not that his body is large. He doesn't have a body anymore. But his energy is very large, very strong. And he's bouncing. I may have to calm him down. I love you. I love you, love you, love you so much. He's talking about somebody called him Mikey. But it's somebody that knew him his whole, most of his life. Called him Mikey when he was little and still called him Mikey when he got older. And even though sometimes that name bothered him a little bit, it didn't when this person said it. He accepted them saying that with total love and respect. Yeah, I can't see what he's showing me. He's saying, "Look what I found," and he's holding his hands like this, and he's got something standing up between. It's a pickup truck, but he's holding it between his hands, like the bumper is down here on this, and the front grill is up here. Look what I found, look what I found. It looks red. It may just be because I'm looking for a red truck right now. So it doesn't necessarily, I don't know if that's exact. Look what I found, look what I found. Did he have a model of a vehicle that he put together, or, yeah, I don't want to say picture. It's not like it's a picture. It's more like it's a little toy truck is what it looks like. Maybe he had a red. It doesn't have to be red, though. He has to put some color on it. Did he have a pickup that he loved? I don't know why I've never seen anybody do this. I'm not sure what he's getting at. Hang on. Look what I found. And this might be something you don't know. Like a toy when he was younger that he lost and it just broke his heart. Anyway. He says, "This is all really cool." And this time he's not just talking about talking through me. He's talking about where he's at, what goes on, And they don't, very rarely do I get to see too far into it. They don't allow us to, most of us. They let them step forward and talk to us. I don't want to say they let. There's nobody, there's no king up there, so to speak. But they get to step forward and talk to us, but we don't, most of us don't get to go where they go. I have been close enough to see the Golden City, if you want to call it that. Few places I've been taken to, but so he's showing me a skateboard. Don't know if you have a kid that has a skateboard or if this is something he liked to do. And he's showing himself, he's not a kid riding a skateboard and falling off and hitting his head. He's talking about one drunken night. It could even be one. No, it doesn't look. It doesn't look like it. Oh, hoverboard. Is that what they call it? The hoverboard where you get on it and you move your feet and it bzzz you around. It looks like a regular skateboard. Could be a hoverboard. My son's got a couple of them. They're funny. Where do you think you're going? Where do you want to go? And he didn't say, like, well, where do you think you're going? He said, no, where do you think you're going? And where do you want to go? You haven't decided yet. He says, you need to start thinking about it. You need to start thinking about your dream again. Not like a dream of him or something, but your dream in life for yourself. I want you to start thinking about your dream again, even if it's just a little bit once in a while. He wants you to start thinking about it. He wants you to start manifesting that. He wants you to start taking baby steps towards it. What is out there? They've been doing this an awful lot lately. What is just out there a little ways? Maybe 5 years from now. You could go 40 years from now. It doesn't matter, but that's an easier goal because your goals will change. Anyway, let's not spend too much time on that. Look at it, think about it, and I will help you get there. And grandma, he's got a grandma with him. Doesn't have to be a blood grandma. I always tell people the little lady next door can feel more like your grandma than your blood grandma clear across the country that you never see. So a grandmother type person is there with him. She's shorter. Well, a little bit strong, a little bit bossy, but not in a mean way. And he's very, very excited to be with her. I love her. Total respect for this lady. She's my queen. He mentions a hayfield. This could be a memory. He's not elaborating on it. Sometimes they just throw words out there. I know you miss me. I know it's been a little hard. I know you've had a little bit of struggle. But I want you to be happy. Cherish the ones you love while you can. And now he's getting all excited again. He's like, but I don't know why yet. He says, now I get to go visit Joe. and he's talking about somebody here. We stink at names. Don't know why. And I need to quit saying that. It makes it worse. It's at least a male with a JJO name. He gets to go visit him. He's going knock, knock, knock. So he's making knocking sounds. Whoever this male is, he's making knocking sounds in his house trying to get his attention. He says he also makes that noise in his vehicle when he's driving down the road. He's going to make him think there's something wrong with his car. Not on purpose. That was just my thinking. You hear something knocking as you're driving down the road, you're going to think something's wrong with your car. You might think about that, buddy. He says, I want you happy. I want you happy. Happy, 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 happy. He's very, very bubbly, lighthearted. Let's party. Let's party. Did you guys play beer pong? Or go to parties where they played beer pong? Simple things in life. They're the best. He said as far as talking to, I believe it's Steve, I might have the name wrong, the day he left, did he know he was leaving? The physical, earthly part of him didn't really know. The conscious level, I don't know if that's the right word I want to use, but the inner knowing, he did. The inner knowing that he really didn't know about, he did. Be like, how do I say this? Like he is now. It's kind of like his soul knew. His soul knew he was going to leave, but he wasn't really in tap with that. But as far as the earthly part of him, something was nudging him or bugging him, but he didn't have an awareness, total awareness, like us being down here. Oh, I hope I'm not messing that up. Awareness like me sitting here, totally aware that I was leaving. But the inner soul spirit of him did know. It's kind of like a little inkling. But he just brushed away. He says it's not about you doing what he wants you to do. He wants you to do what you want to do. And he's talking about him and this grandma, will be there to help. So the way that works is, I think I already mentioned say 5 years down the road, where would you want to be? And starting to take baby steps towards it. What do you want to do? And then you ask them to help you. So what was he good at? I always say, if Uncle Joe didn't have a pot to piss in, you don't want Uncle Joe's advice on earthly finances down here, because he didn't know how to handle it when he was here. So we're not all knowing when we get there. So you don't want to ask Uncle Joe for that. So what was Michael good at? What would be the department he could help you the most in? And ask him. He cannot override your free will choice. Grandma's holding her hand up back there. She goes, me too. And then you have to allow it. They will bring things to you. Somebody might call you out of the blue that you can't believe how many things in the last 5 years have been brought to me that way. And it's like, never thought of that. But I'll take a step towards it and we'll see where it goes. That sounded kind of confusing. Sorry. But you have to ask them, and then you have to allow them. And that's all part of that free will choice that they can't mess with. You can say no. They can bring you the best stuff in the world, and you can say no. Okay, so he's showing me your path, and I'm assuming that what I'm seeing is like when he left. Your path was just going like crazy, winding, 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 winding. Really sharp curves, a bunch of them. But now there's a straight path ahead of you. And so far, all the ones I've seen, you can get off the path a little bit, but and take the detour, the scenic route, I call it. But you usually, the ones I've seen anyway, in my experience, always come back on that path. You just take a little longer to get back on it instead of smooth sailing. But all I see is a straight path ahead of you. So pick that thing that would make your heart sing. What is it you really want in your heart and your gut? Draw a picture of it, put it on your fridge, write it down, put it on your fridge. Something where you could at least think about it once a day. And then when those opportunities come in that they can honestly help with, he says, tell her, tell her, tell her. I promise you 1,000%, they can hear you and see you. Absolutely. Oh, he's talking about cherry red. I think he's talking, I've got this truck I'm looking for that I want to buy. I think he's tapping into me. There could be something about cherry red with him too, though. I think, yeah, I think he's talking about the truck I keep looking at. He says, I like it, cherry red. I like it. Well, I do too. How can I help you? Just tell me how I can help you. You have or will feel him on the bed. You might just feel like a little. Usually it's not a great big blow up thing, where it's just so darn obvious you can't deny it. It's usually because they can only do so much. We don't have physical bodies anymore. You should feel something like you feel somebody sit on the other side of the bed, that type of thing, just very. He's showing you sitting on the side of the bed. It doesn't have to be that exact picture, and you just feel some pressure on the bed. He's still showing the bedroom. You're still sitting on the side of the bed, and it's like a whoosh of air kind of goes around you, but it's going to be very soft, very slight, something that you may not even think of, paying attention to. Whenever he gives you a sign, make sure you validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more signs if you want them. There's, again, your free will choice. It helps to invite them in, let them know they're welcome. I've had some where they stand clear across the room from their loved one because they don't want to scare them. They don't want to do any creepy noises or anything. Make them think their house is haunted. Okay, he's showing a lamp on the nightstand. So watch for this light to flicker or turn off and on, or just not turn on sometime, or maybe it has a shade on it, and every so often the shade gets a little crooked, or it might jiggle or shake or rattle. Something. He's just kind of fiddling around with it, like pulling the string on it, so that means he's trying to turn it off and on. May not have figured it out yet. It's like the movie Ghost. That is one of the closest movies to what we do that I've seen. And Patrick Swayze is down in the subway with the other spirit, and he's learning how to flick the bottle cap and kick the can. He can't quite do it at first. It takes him a little bit. And I don't know how long Mike's been gone. It takes him a little bit to kind of figure it out. electronics, things that are energy like him are easy for them to manipulate. It's possible that he's showing himself in the living room. It's possible you're going to hear him walking in again. It'll probably be very quiet. He's got work boots on, so that's the type of noise you'll hear. He's scraping, he's got a knife and he's scraping mud off the side of the sole of the boot. So you should find like little pieces of dried mud just out of the blue. It's like one day I walked through my dining room like 10 times. And then the next time I walked through there was an empty candy wrapper on the floor. And when I turned it over, it said, "I love you." So it was from Valentine's Day. It wasn't Valentine's Day. Wasn't even close. Don't know where it came from. Well, I do. So it could be you'll just find this dirt. Chunks of dried mud. He's rattling around in the kitchen drawers. The drawers. It's like he's looking for something. He goes, "Where did it go? Where did it go?" But it's kind of like a junk drawer type thing. So your junk drawer in the kitchen, you might hear things rattling around, or you might go in there and it's open when you knew it was shut, or vice versa. But I don't think that's the only drawer, so he doesn't have to be exact, but he's showing like under the kitchen counter, like the drawers, like the little bitty drawers that we usually end up putting batteries and things like that in. But he's opening several. Even if there's not several, he's showing me that he's looking in all of them for something. So something's been moved or something goes, "Where did it go? Where did it go?" He's holding up a pair of pliers. I do love you. I still love you. You're my princess. I'm glad we found each other. I'm glad we hooked up. Life would have been dull without you. He's kind of snickering. Like, he's got a great sense of humor. He's trying to call your name, but I only hear Chris. So I don't know if he called you Chris instead of Kristina, but he's trying to say Chris, Chris, Chris. So you could hear that, and if, nobody's there, and you think, "Yeah, I didn't hear that." So he's trying to say your name. It's one of those things, you think you hear your name and you turn around, there's nobody there. He's there. He mentions Babylon. Was there some kind of game he played that had something about Babylon? Babylon in the name. I feel like it's a video game like thing. Something along that line. Or you might have to stretch it outside the box a little bit. He's showing me an orange. So let's say he's not saying why he's showing the orange. So let's say you set an orange on the kitchen counter and it rolls off. Know that he did that. Something about this orange. So I don't know if it's going to move, roll, fall. You've got one sitting there. You have an orange tree in the backyard. I don't know what he's showing with this orange. Or maybe he loved oranges. He says you have a little bit of guilt about him leaving, so I don't know what that's about. None of my business. You need to let that go. But he said you're also wondering how you can help him, what you can do for him. And he said, just love me. He said it's about us helping you now. That love energy coming towards him, it helps raise their vibration. It helps lighten their soul. He says, I really don't need any help. I've got this. It's awesome. All right, he mentions a Sarah. So once again, names. Might have to stretch that out a little bit. But he's showing it S-A-R-A-H. So it could be just a female with an S-S-A name that's here that he's acknowledging. Something about a cousin that's up there with him. Not really with him at the moment, but there's a cousin. Could be second, third cousin. Don't know how far down the line. About his age. Well, most cousins are. He says younger. He says there's a lot to do, a lot to keep him busy, a lot to learn. A lot to learn. And we still learn things when we leave. It's like a school. It's like a school when we're here. We learn things. And it's still that way. It helps our soul evolve and get higher. He says he likes it where he's at. He doesn't want to get higher. He likes this. He's throwing his arms up in the air and saying, I'm sorry you had to go through that when I left. I don't know if he's talking about like a certain instance thing or a certain thing happened or just the whole deal. I feel like something happened. Maybe something happened. Somebody wasn't very nice to you or something. Don't hold me to that. He's not pinpointing it. He says, I'm good. And it did not hurt. I want you to know that. It's fine. And I am good. And I made it where I need to go. And Grandma's keeping an eye on me. Oh, he got quiet. He said, okay. There's some kind of event, birthday, anniversary, wedding, something that's coming up real quick. He could mean Thanksgiving. He will be there. So watch for something that will remind you of him at whatever this event is. He's not specifying. It could be just well, there's lots of Michaels though, so I was going to say it could just be his name. The tablecloth could move when you sit down, or just your fork might just be different when you come back and sit down. I don't know. Something about this event, and I see a table. So it might be Thanksgiving. He said it's a little bit hard to get to you because you're still grieving. And when we're in deep grief, it's almost like a wall around us, and it's hard for them to get through, which makes no sense to me because that's when you really need to hear from them. You really need to know they're okay. And yet, to me, it works backwards. Not my choice. He's also going to rub his beard stubble on your cheek. You'll feel that, but it probably will be very slight. It'll probably get warm on that side, or feel like itchy, like you'll feel the hair sticking you, and you do that, and it's still there. I love you, dear. Carry on, march on, be strong. I'm going to help you. Our worlds are closer than you think. I'm just around the corner. Okay, with that, he's leaving. Much love to you, my dear. He's blowing you kisses. I don't know that he really gave me a lot of stuff for you to validate. I always ask him for 2 or 3 things that you can validate and know for sure that it's him. I don't know that we got that far. Anyway, much love to you, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Thank you for allowing me to be his voice. See you later.